Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. Man, this woman, this head of the Secret Service, this has been something to behold. I watched the entire thing I listened to the entire thing while I was in the gym. And this woman, her ability to not answer questions is rivaled only by Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary. There is no one else that I've seen. She might even be better than her because she's just doing it for hours and she's doing it straightforward, just not answering questions. People are calling for her to resign. She very much should resign. I'm shocked that she can't just be fired. That's also very telling, the fact that this person just hasn't been fired. I got Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman named Nancy Mace, who really goes in on this lady. I mean, like, she starts swearing. And then we have AOC. When you have Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC on the same page, you messed up so bad. You messed up so bad. So I'm going to be playing some clips for you guys. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about just everything that I heard while I was listening to it. You know, it's hard to do a whole highlights type of thing because it was I want to say like 4 hours long. I'm pretty sure I had the full thing. What's the full thing say? Yeah, it was just under 5 hours. So it was a long time of listening. But let's get into this first clip.
Crooks has a backpack. 2 minutes before the shooting, while President Trump has been allowed to take the stage, people see Crooks laying on his stomach in a sniper position on the roof, and they're yelling he has a gun, and they are trying to alert law enforcement and Secret Service. Why was Crooks not shot by the snipers? Why was he allowed to be there?
As soon as the individual was identified as a threat, they were...
No. What do you consider to be a threat? A man with a gun laying in a sniper position, a man that had a backpack, a man that had a bicycle, a man that had a rangefinder. At what point is he determined a threat?
An individual with a backpack is not a threat. An individual with a rangefinder is not a threat.
What about a man laying on a building that has direct line of sight of President Trump with a gun that people are screaming and pointing out? Is that a threat, Ms. Cheatle?
Once that individual was identified, they were neutralized.
No, they were neutralized. Crooks was neutralized after he shot President Trump in the face, Ms. Cheatle. Is he only a threat once he fires the weapon?
As soon as the counter sniper identified that individual, they were able to neutralize them.
How were people in the crowd? Okay, then let's just take it this way. People under your command did not consider him to be a threat, yet people in the crowd knew he had a gun and considered him to be a threat. That means that you are a complete failure as the director of the Secret Service, that people under your command don't perceive a man laying on a roof with direct line to the president with a gun. They don't perceive that to be a threat, yet the people in the crowd do. How is that possible?
That's the last question, but please answer the question, Ms. Director.
I'm not certain at this time how the information from the people in the crowd was relayed to any law enforcement personnel.
No, you knew, that everyone knew. The people there knew that there was a danger. They knew there was a threat to President Trump, and it was allowed to happen. Was there a stand-down order, Ms. Cheatle? No. Was there a conspiracy to kill President Trump?
Absolutely not.
Then how did this happen? And why are you still sitting here not turning in your letter of resignation?
Last question, but please answer, and then I'll recognize Ms. Presley. Please answer the question. Director.
That is what we are investigating to determine.
We're waiting for your letter. We are waiting for your letter of resignation, and you really need to consider doing that before you leave today.
I really don't understand how she can't just be fired. See, and that's why I say it's very telling, because who would do the firing of someone who's the head of Secret Service? Would it be the administration, the current administration in power? Because if they're not willing to do it, that's very telling. You know what I mean? Like, who's supposed to do that? Is it Nancy Pelosi? Who is supposed to, if need be, fire somebody who's the head of the Secret Service? And why haven't they done it? Why are they even getting it to a point where this woman has to be subpoenaed and brought in and questioned and have her answer no questions, be very brazen in front of the American people with how she's responding to all of this? There seems to be no remorse within this woman. Again, seems like a fall guy, seems like she messed something up and she's just taking the punishment that it's almost like she knew this was coming. Like she knew she was supposed to be this person that just receives this beat down. I don't even know how to describe this. Everybody's going in on this lady. There's one congressman who was talking with her. I think his name is Biggs. I think he's Mr. Biggs. He's talking with I could be wrong about that. But he's just like, we do this all the time. And I don't even know why. Everybody gets 5 minutes and, everybody gets to kiss the pig. I was like, did he just call her a pig? I was like, what is going on? Oh my gosh. It was absolutely wild. And then we have AOC. AOC asking actual questions. Actually seeming like she is going in for President Trump. And and at the end of the day, she's not really going in for Trump. She's going in for, I don't want to see riots everywhere, right? The last, they don't want to have to jump into their bunker. She's more afraid, you're already in power. You're already going to stay in power. She's young. She knows she has a nice, long Pelosi type of career in front of her. She's like, why mess this up? Why mess this up? Let's just do what we usually do to stay in power. We don't need all this. We don't need someone to get assassinated and then all of a sudden it's all this rioting and whatnot. Or maybe she's just covering her tracks. I don't know. But listen to this.
10 days since an assassination attempt on a former president of the United States, regardless of party. There need to be answers. Again, this party, this committee, this is not a moment of theater. We have to make policy decisions, and we have to make them now. We do. And that may be and that may require legislation. That may require policy that we must pass in the immediate term. And without that, we are flying blind. So the lack of answers and the lack of report is just simply not something that we can accept here. Director Cheatle, is there a standard perimeter that the Secret Service establishes around an event, or are those perimeters independently determined per event and scenario?
There is no standard. Every event and every venue is different and treated as such.
So each event has a different perimeter that is established depending on the logistics of that event. Now, you established earlier that the building upon which the shooter operated from was outside of that established perimeter, correct, for the Butler, Pennsylvania event?
It was outside of our secure perimeter, yes.
Now, that building was, I believe, 500. How far away was that building from the president?
It was approximately 200 yards.
200 yards. Now, the individual used an AR-15 in order to act out his assassination attempt. An AR-15 has a range of about 400 to 600 yards. My question is, why does the Secret Service perimeter, why is the Secret Service protective perimeter shorter than one of the most popular semi-automatic weapons in the United States?
There are a number of weapons out there with a number of ranges. Again, an advance was completed. The determination of the perimeter, I'm not going to speak to specifics, but there are a number of factors that are taken into account when we determine our perimeter. Some of it has to do with terrain, some of it has to do with buildings, some of it has to do with assets and resources that are available.
And so what I'm hearing is that a perimeter was not established outdoors in an outdoor venue that would prevent an AR-15, which is one of the most common weapons used in mass shootings, from being able to be within the range of Secret Service protection.
A perimeter was established, and even though there were buildings that were outside of that perimeter, it wasn't just that building, there were a number of buildings in the area. and there was overwatch that was created to help mitigate some of those buildings.
Respectfully, Dr. Cheatle, as well, as a person who has experienced an enormous amount of threat incidents, including incidents that have never been reported publicly, there is a common pattern that happens here, whether it's Secret Service, FBI, Capitol Police, local departments. After a critical security failure, we often hear there will be an independent investigation. That independent investigation gets set up. Usually the expectation is between 2 to 3 months after the incident, and then nothing really occurs from there. The report is usually not satisfactory to the questions that are usually being raised here, and most importantly, corrective action is rarely taken. If I were to state anything that I think is profoundly important, is that we need to have answers to the public. Ideally, I would encourage you and the agency to be more forthright with the members that still have yet to have their questioning, because the public deserves to have full confidence, and the stakes are too high. The violence that could break out in this political moment, regardless of party, in the event of someone getting hurt, constitutes a national security threat to the entire country. Thank you, and I yield back.
Oh, man. Listen, that alone, someone should be able to take this woman into a room and say, listen, AOC is telling you how to do your job. You're gone. You're gone. Once AOC, who can barely do her own job, is telling you how to do yours, you're gone. You leave. Pick a different career. Not in government, probably retail. Have fun. That's it. That's it. Maybe she can talk to the bar she used to work at. She gets you a little job, bartending, tips are nice. Tips are nice on a Friday, Saturday. You can clean up. That's it. That's just how it has to be. This is crazy. AOC is telling you, she's like, this is how far it shoots. This is your perimeter. And she's just like, well, we set up a perimeter. And then, it was really funny. She's like, it was 500 yards. And then she gets corrected. No, it was 200 yards. No, it was 150 to 140 yards. Hey, why doesn't anyone know? Why doesn't anyone know? Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, man. And that's coming from, listen, and this is coming from AOC, someone who just said this about Donald Trump like days before.
The president is old. The president is very old. Donald Trump is also very old and a racist and a neo-Nazi. But anyways.
Someone who just said that about Donald Trump is looking at you and going, you're really messing up here. That means you need to be fired. Like, that's it. That's the last thing you should hear in a government building is AOC telling you really messed up. Once she's saying that, you're done. That's it. It's over now. You would hope. You would have thought AOC would have been like, hey, terrible job that you guys did. Huh? Almost got that gentleman shot, huh? That would have been horrible. Am I right? Oh, I love Kim. That's what I thought AOC's questioning would have went like. But no, she actually made a good point saying that it's national security. That's 100% right. I'm sorry to say it. And I don't know what's going on with this head of Secret Service, this Kim lady. She's messing up so bad that Marjorie Taylor Greene and her are on the same side, and I'm saying AOC has a good point. What's going on? This is how bad this woman has messed up. She's bringing party unity. She's uniting the parties with how badly she messed up. Doesn't Donald Trump just do everything? Look at that. 2016, he woke everybody up, politics. He woke up the black community. They realized, why am I a Democrat? I don't understand what's going on right now. He woke up so many people. Then he almost gets killed, wakes more people up. Now he's starting to wake up politicians. Come on. This guy, just make him the president. What are we doing? If you can just make Kamala Harris the nominee, and you just go like that and it happens, we can just go like that and just make him president. We might as well. We might as well. It's going to happen anyway. But this is not the only person that had an issue. And then I'm just going to go over some other things that happened. But this woman, Nancy Mace, she also had something to say. And this is just, she goes off.
Pretty close to the halfway point during this. You answered more questions with an ABC reporter than you have with members of Congress. We have a lot more questions. The American people are demanding that we get answers to those questions, and that's what the purpose of this hearing is today. So I'm sure a lot of the questions that have already been asked are going to be asked again, and hopefully we can.
You can answer honestly today. So, Director Cheatle, I have a series of questions, very specific questions. I want very specific answers. Most of my questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question, yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible.
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure, yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable, yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent, yes or no?
I have always been eager
Yes
to
or no?
come
You didn't
and
want to
talk
answer
to
the question.
committee.
We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political, yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th, yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman,
Completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman, I want to.
Come on.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee, no matter
have
how
you provided
upset we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. You're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging and talking around it in generalities. And we had to subpoena you to be here, and you won't even answer the questions. We have asked you repeatedly to answer our questions. This isn't hard. These are not hard questions. Have you provided us all communications from the Secret Service related to that day and that rally? Have you provided this committee? We've asked for this information on July 15th. Have you provided any of this information that this committee has asked of the Secret Service? Any of it?
I'll have to get back to you.
Have you even read this letter that we sent you? Did you even read this?
Yes.
Okay. And you have said you don't know, you have no idea. Well, the answer is no. We haven't gotten a single document or piece of information or data from you or your agency in related to the rally that we have asked you for. So, was this attempted assassination of Donald Trump a failure of training or execution or both?
I think that those are answers that we need to
Training,
examine.
execution, or both? Which one?
I think those are answers.
All right. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
At this time, none.
How many Secret Service personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump?
Our personnel are currently operational. We are examining the facts of this investigation, and we will make the changes necessary.
What time did law enforcement become aware that there was an individual on the roof with a clear line of sight to President Trump?
I am still verifying timelines.
Of course, 9.
It's crazy. I have the timelines. You could hear videos, people talking about all the timelines, and she's like, I'm still verifying timelines. It's so crazy that she doesn't answer anything properly. Nothing. It is so with 5 hours, you don't answer anything. And then she has the nerve at the beginning of this whole thing. I say the beginning, like an hour in, she says, I believe I am the best person in the country for this job. The best in the country. I was shocked when she said that. In the country? You're the best in the country. Are you sure? Oh my gosh. Absolutely ridiculous. And then also, she lied about her DEI, her mandate by 2030 to have 30% women Secret Service agents. She actually lied about that. Somebody asked her about that, and she said, oh, no, I don't have any mandate to have 1/3. No, there's nothing like that. So she made that up because there's literally a recording of her talking about it and being interviewed about it. And she's all high and mighty and happy about it. She refuses to answer questions. And then I find out today's the day she was supposed to resign, apparently. I heard from people in the military and whatnot and government officials. And now all of a sudden it turns out she's refusing to resign. And then she's not getting fired. It's crazy. And all of that together, not answering any questions, refuses to resign, is not getting fired right now. Hasn't been fired already. No one got fired for this incident. This tells me that this was a setup. Obviously. What else could it tell you? What else could you learn from that? And then she's looking at people in the face saying a rangefinder is not a threat. It's a rangefinder. You're at a rally. Hold on. You're at a Trump. Listen close. You're at a Trump rally. Why would you have a rangefinder? You'd have a MAGA sign. You have a MAGA hat. You know, you might have water. You might have food. Why would you have a rangefinder? Why would you need to know how far away he is? Oh, it's so crazy. And then on top of all that, she says, I don't know how my statement got out. You made a statement. What do you mean? You made a statement. You have to make a statement to a person. You have to make a statement to an outlet for it to get out. She doesn't know how it got out. And she's a part of the Secret Service. She's the head of the Secret Service. This is, it's so crazy that this is happening right now. And it's just, you know, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she asked if there was a stand down order, if there was some kind of thing where they wanted Trump to actually, you know, take that shot. And she's saying no, but every single thing points to yes. Every single thing points to yes. I just wanted to show that to you guys. You know, there's way more highlights, but again, it was like 5 hours long. So for me to show you all the highlights, it would be like an 1.5-hour video. So just those were the things that stood out the most. Just the fact that there are people who are so divided. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC were fighting in a hearing just a few weeks ago, going back and forth along with Jasmine Crockett. Even Jasmine, like, they're all aligned on this subject. And that, again, that shows how badly this Kim character has messed up. And again, the fact that she's not fired, the fact that somebody hasn't said you have to be out of this position because someone important almost lost their life, tells me more than likely someone, I don't know who, wanted said important person to lose their life. I don't, this is not even conspiratorial. These are just facts. Like, I'm not making these up. I didn't make up these videos. These videos are real. Her answering not answering the questions is real. All of this is real. There's no conspiracies here. This is just common sense, just looking at the whole situation. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to show that to you guys. That last lady, she's really upset because you got to think she's near the end. So she's been listening to this for like 4 hours, this woman not answer any questions. And that's why she said, you're so full of it. You're so full of your BSing. 100%. 100%. You barely answered any questions. And you get to keep your job. Could you imagine you had a job where you could do that? Could you imagine you work at McDonald's and someone's just like, did you show up late today? And you're like, I'll have to check the cameras and consult with the crew, people on the fries, maybe. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. Like, what? Hey, did you steal money from the cash register? You know what? I would really, I don't want to talk about what happens with the cash register. I just don't want to bring that up. You'll have to wait for the report. We're still trying to verify things. They'd be like, get out. Get it. They grab you like Uncle Phil, Will Smith style, throw you out of the establishment. That'd be it. But somehow this woman still has her job. And again, I do enjoy these things where they do dress these people of authority down. I do really, but I don't understand what it does. And I'm going to say I don't understand. I'm not going to say that nothing happens, but I don't get what this leads to. What is the next step? So the public got to see it. Is it just for the public to see what this person's answers are? Because public consensus is probably that this woman needs to step down. Because whether you're left or right, she is somebody who could allow this to happen to Biden, could allow this to happen to Kamala, could allow it to happen to Trump, could allow it to happen to anybody. So this is not a left or right thing. She could have this happen to anybody and it would be terrible. I don't know. So now the public knows about it. What happens from there? We don't get to choose if she gets fired. They obviously don't get to choose if she gets fired. So what happens? I don't know. I don't get it. I'm going to start looking into this because I want to understand what these things are. What is their actual purpose? Because it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch, and it was a little frustrating also because she wasn't answering any questions. But I want to know what are the actual purpose of these whole things? Because again, I'm not going to act like I know because my mind wants to say nothing happens and it's just like a public shaming. But I don't know that for fact. I'm gonna actually look into that. Anyways, guys, just wanted to bring you that. She's not answering any questions. She's not resigning. Let's hope that she follows in Biden's footsteps. There's a lot of people in government that need to follow in Biden's footsteps. And just step down. Just that's it. Put a nice little letter out. But, and I'll get to it in another episode. Where is Joe Biden? Have you seen him? I haven't seen him. I saw a letter. That's all I saw. I heard a phone call, but we can do that now with certain technology. Where's Joe Biden? I don't know. Other than that, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Other than that, I'm out.